And these are our clients. National and international. And these are our क्या बोलते हैं, contacts details. That is the mail and number. You can WhatsApp me, WhatsApp us, and we have also accounts on social media, like Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, and Twitter also. Thank you. Now I am going to introduce the faculty, SN Panigrai sir. He has diverse experience and expertise in handling multiple mega projects, EPC contracts, predict FIDIC terms of contract, agile and lean practices, Kanban, 5S, Kaizen, ZED, Six Sigma, supply chain and logistics, procurement and contracts. And he also having over 30 years of techno-commercial experience in projects from inception to execution operation. Thank you. Sir, now I'm handing over to you and you can start your session.
Namaskar.
Wait. Now, sir, you can share your content now.
Yeah. Now it is Namaskar. Good morning to all of you. The presentation is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Namaskar. Let us start the
Good
session.
morning, sir.
Let us start the session. The session on the productivity improvement through Kaizen. And I am SN Panigrahi on behalf of National Productivity Council. Let us discuss the session. I am, as madam told already, I have over 30 years of experience, and last 3 years I am into the consultancy field. I have published more than 500 articles on various subjects on various platforms and publications. More than 100 YouTube presentations also you can see in the public domain. Around say 120 plus slide shares are also there presented, and more than 250 workshops I conducted globally. Before Corona, of course, I used to travel mostly to the Middle East, mostly to Oman, and of course because of the Corona we are stuck, we are not able to do, but we are doing mostly in the online sessions. I'm basically electrical engineer, MBA and PG diploma in ISO 9000 TQM. I am also certified PMP from PMI USA, and in 2016 I become PMI India champion. I am an authorized training partner, ATP instructor of PMI USA. I am also certified Lean Six Sigma Black Belt from Exemplar Global as well as from the KPMG. And I have been trained in COD, Center for Organizational Development in Hyderabad for 3.5 years on strategy and leadership. Various other credentials are there. So today's topic, the productivity improvement through Kaizen. These are the topics we are going to discuss. This is the agenda. First we discuss about the Kaizen, some introduction and history will give. Then understanding the productivity, factors of productivity improvement. Then Kaizen principles, Kaizen tools and implementation, Kaizen mindset, and Kaizen project initiatives and success factors. So these are the topics we are going to discuss now. Just a minute. Yeah. So starting with what is Kaizen, let us discuss. Kaizen is a Japanese phrase. It is combination of two words. Kai means change and Gen means good. This is Kaizen means generally we are talking about change for the betterment or continuous improvement. That is what the Kaizen. When we Kaizen, we are talking about, and we are not talking about innovation like larger changes and etc., but small improvements. Generally we focus when we are talking about Kaizen, it refers to small incremental continuous improvements. Okay, and basically it is a focus on the process and the people. These are the two aspects we are discussing about. Then history of Kaizen, just let us have discussion. In after World War II, Japan is smashed to ground, and from the zero level they have grown up because of these quality concepts, and it is initiated mainly in the Toyota. Toyota first they introduced this Kaizen concept. Just yeah. So they started with the quality circles. This was from the Edward Deming. He was the quality guru. He has initiated this concept of quality circles, and it was implemented in Toyota. This is basic about the transformation towards the quality based concepts. So in 1950s it was started as actual quality circle means a group of people performing the same or similar works meets regularly to identify, analyze and solve work related problems. That is what the quality circle started. And later of course it was spread across the Japan, and later on it was means many other quality gurus also like Ishikawa and others also promoted this concept, and later it was went to the US very lately after almost a decade like. Then there also it been populated, and throughout the world now talking about the Kaizen. The quality circle later it has been turned into Kaizen, right? And the Kaizen, actually the concept is brought into that terminology is brought into the Masaki Imai. He in 1930 of course he is born. He is a Japanese quality guru. He founded the Kaizen Institute, Kaizen Institute Consulting Group, KICG. There he popularized the Kaizen. So the father of Kaizen is, we can say, like Masaki Imai, right? So he wrote the two books on the Kaizen to popularize this concept. First one is Kaizen, the Japanese Spirit of Improvement. In 1985 it was published. Later another book also published, Gemba Kaizen, a common sense low cost approach to management. So after that the Kaizen is very popular along with the lean. This is one of the basic lean concept like, and it is popularized mostly in this manufacturing industry, but other industries also, in service industry also now people are following and practicing. Kaizen is everyone's, means it can be done by anybody, everyone can do, everyone can practice, every day can be practiced, and everywhere it can be practiced. So this is become a culture like, especially in a Toyota, in average they are doing almost like 23 Kaizens per year per employee. So that is the level of Kaizens they are adopting. This will become a usual life in this Toyota. Whereas in Western world, though it is adopted and practicing, but not that popular. Mostly automobile industries worldwide they are following these Kaizen concepts. Most of the leading manufacturing units are following this Kaizen. But in Western world, almost like 8 Kaizens per employee per year. But in Toyota, it is 23 it is recorded, right? So that is how the Toyota, you can say that there is the cultural transformation has happened in Toyota by bringing these simple concepts, very small concepts. It's not like large inventions or large investments are involved, but small concepts, and everybody can implement anywhere, like it can be implemented step by step, small improvements, but overall if you see over a period of time, a large impact has been there on the outcome. Either process improvements are related to people also. A lot of improvements are been happening. Improvement in the sense that their harmony among them, the good working culture has developed, and because they are bringing some small improvements, but it is contributing to the company, their satisfaction level, moral level also drastically been improved. Small I will take this example. I told you anywhere it can be used. Where it can be used, one small video I'll show you. Like in a Kaizen coffee we talk it. So let us take to this Kaizen coffee. Just a minute. I'll take that video.
In today's lean tip,
Just a minute. Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, able to see it. Okay.
In today's lean tip, I'm going to teach you the true meaning of Kaizen. And I'm actually going to return to my trusty coffee machine for the example of what Kaizen is all about. Okay, if you've been with us from the beginning, then you know that the coffee machine made an appearance in our first lean tip ever. And in that lean tip, I was trying to solve the problem of all of the coffee splatter that was collecting on my coffee machine. That just looked gross. And I taught about the importance of when you shine in 5S to inspect as you go and think about how can I make this in such a way that I never have to clean it again, theoretically. And so we came up with this. I was doing some woodworking. I had this wooden block, put it there underneath so that the coffee splatter wouldn't drop so far down and wouldn't splatter as much. And actually, I've not had to clean it as much, but you know, there's still some splatter. There's still room for improvement. And so today we're going to return to this coffee machine and talk about Kaizen. Now, Kaizen is a word that really just means a change for the better. In the United States, though, Kaizen will often be used to refer to a Kaizen event, which is a scheduled activity over a period of time with dedicated people to tackle a specific problem. That's a little bit different, though, than the original meaning of Kaizen. Kaizen has to do with small incremental changes that over time create huge results. If you can think about ants that are building an anthill, every single one of them is just moving one little tiny piece of sand. But you give them enough time, all those small changes cumulatively make a huge difference. So today we're going to practice Kaizen and come up with a very small improvement, but but a significant one to this coffee machine. So here's the block that I was using before, and when I thought about this, I realized that it's still splashing. Maybe I can't reduce it altogether from just the block. So instead I thought, well, what if I had a lid with a hole in it? So the coffee drops down, but when it splashes, it hits the top of the lid on the inside and doesn't splash out of the cup. So I did something really crude and basic. This is the top from a yogurt bin. And I cut out a hole here. And now all I have to do is, there's even a mark here of the center point and a mark here on my coffee machine. All I have to do is match those up, and then we'll just run some water here. When I run my Keurig, it drops straight down the hole, and any splatter that's created is trapped by the lid. So now, if I'm really lucky, I'll never have to clean it, which I think is just awesome. Using my brain to think about how can I make this better so that I'm not wasting my time cleaning something that with a little bit of creativity, I wouldn't have to be cleaning. And that's Kaizen. It's a very small but simple change, and it's something that really can become a cultural element to your company, in which small changes are made every day by every person in the organization. You fast forward with that kind of culture a year or two, and the place will be completely unrecognizable. It's pretty powerful stuff. So thanks for watching this lean tip about the meaning of Kaizen, about small changes for the better, and how powerful they can be when they are a part of your organization's culture. For more lean tips and sound advice for your lean journey, visit us at leansmarts.com.
Okay, I believe you understood how the Kaizen can be used in everyday's life. Very simple, small steps for improvement. That is the Kaizen, right? So let us move forward. I'll show some global excellence in terms of manufacturing. In the year 2000, top manufacturing units are like CC. These are the top. Most of them are automobile industries in 2000, right? And that time, most of the automobile industries following this Kaizen and Lean and Six Sigma concepts, and these are the leaders, top 10 companies in 2000. Then how it has been transformed, let us understand. In 2010, some of the earlier companies are being either degraded or vanished, and new are emerged like LG, Novartis, like that they have emerged. Some of the companies like Daimler, Chrysler, they have vanished from this top 10, right? This 2010, it is now from automobile to most of the companies become electronics companies, and they are leading this top 10. And then another 10 years, you see how it has been transformed. 2020, again it is electronics companies mostly, and some of the companies which are earlier there, they are now completely vanished. Like HP, for example, is no more in this top 10. Intel was once upon a time a leading manufacturers of these chips. Any computer, any laptop, anything you see in this A is Intel chip. Intel Inside we talk about. There is not no more. IBM, once upon time in 2000, year 2000, it is the top third means manufacturer, largest excellent manufacturing units. It is dropped down to 8th position, then it is vanished from this list, right? So why it is happening? Yes, because if you not continuously improve upon, yes, damage is certain, because change is constant. Constantly it has to change as per the change requirement. Organizations also supposed to change and bring in improvements, then only they can survive, otherwise no. So this is how happen. In other case, you see Toyota, they're constantly almost maintaining a first or second positions. 2000 it is a second position, 2010 at the first position, and 2020 again they maintain the second position. Like first and second position they're constantly maintaining. What is the secret behind this Toyota? The secret behind it is continuous improvement. That is the secret, nothing else. Right? The spirit of Kaizen in Toyota, because that is a continuously they are making the improvement in every area of the business. Always they're going for the better way of the doing. That is the slogan. Always they talks about always a better way. Means they feel that every opportunity is there for improvement. Not that sometime back we have done excellent job, then that is the benchmark always forever. No. Sometime back you must have done excellent job, but still there is an opportunity for improvement. So that is culture, that is the spirit in Toyota. So even though they have done best of the job, but still they want to improve upon. So it is a culture developed within the organization. Everyone from the smallest the soft floor worker to the top management, everybody involved in the Kaizen. Right? That is continuous improvement. Improvement in productivity, improvement in quality or safety, faster delivery, lower cost, or greater customer satisfaction. All these things always they are focusing, and they are continuously improving. And as a result, of course, higher employee morale and also job satisfaction and lower turnover also is becoming possible. So it is a pride for the employees to associate with the organization. Right? And that is every time they challenge the existence, so that new initiative they can start, they can create something new, some experiment can they do, they can learn and they implement. Here the fundamental difference between innovation and this Kaizen is low investment, almost like no investment certain cases, but small improvements over a period brings a larger improvement. So here with the learning and experimentation also, if you do, there is no much of the cost is involved, no much of the loss can happen. So fearlessly you can start that improvement concepts. Right? So that is what they make this here. In 1999, in US plant of the Toyota, 7,000 employees submitted 75,000 suggestions. Means every employee can suggest. That is the culture actually. So every employee, every time they're thinking of how to improve. Yesterday we done something, today how we can improve further. So that is the culture, that inbuilt mindset is there in every employee's mindset. So they suggested 75,000 suggestions, out of which 99 were implemented. That is the greatness. Many times what happened, many people give the suggestions, but many of those suggestions may not be implementable because of various hurdles. Here the one more thing we have to understand from the Toyota is a group culture, a team culture is there. They take these initiations in a group wise, and everybody is involved, everybody cooperate and ensure how that Kaizen ideas can be implemented. But other countries, many of those things, if you see, if one person is given any suggestion, the other one may see how it has to be defeated, so that this can't be implemented, it's not taken credit by somebody else like. But in Japan, this culture is entirely different. Western culture is always little about the competitiveness. Unhealthy competition also they built up from the childhood. But whereas in Japan, it is a group culture, a team culture. So that is why it is very, very successful in Japan, especially in Toyota. That culture is continuing for the decades together. And the 7 principles of Toyota production system: always look for reducing the setup time. That is what they come out with concept. That tool is single minute exchange of die. Earlier it taking like 45 minutes or 45 days, 45 hours. They brought into few minutes, 45 hours to few minutes they brought in. So that is a great achievement. Therefore, the waiting time or the lost product means machine waiting time or machine production lost time, that is brought down. And there also concept is a small lot productions. That is one of the major deviation from the mass production or batch production. This is small lot production, right? And quality at source, yes, they always believe that there should not be entry of any wrong entry in the process. Therefore, they ensure that all the inputs which are going into the process must be good and right inputs, so that there will not be any problem in the output. So they are ensuring that the supplier side, the quality. So the suppliers means pre-inspection, pre-dispatch inspection are ensuring the good suppliers and educating them and improving their quality performance, so that their performance is the principal's performance. Because if they are producing right products and supplying the right goods, so that the good right inputs entering into the process, so quality output can be ensured. So that is the basic concept they are talking. Quality at the source, not as quality has to be inspected after production. No, before production it has to be ensured that quality is means good, so that the output will be good. They always believe that input and the process improvement. Okay. Therefore, they involve the suppliers as their partners. That is the way the concept has come for the ancillarization. All these things come up, developing the suppliers. So the suppliers in output means the supplies become input to us, and that is the major source of certain times is means our defects or errors. So if the source is correct, inputs are right, then output will be also correct. So that is the belief there. Then pull concept means just in time. One of the pull concept is just in time. It's not like push mass production, but they believe on the small lot production as and when required by the customer, so that various types of waste can be minimized. They identify 7 types of waste. One of the waste is inventory. So when it is as and when required by the customer, we are delivering it. So therefore, we can minimize the inventory. And overproduction also is one of the waste that can be minimized. So that is how they are going with the concept. And another is equipment maintenance, means total productive maintenance. That is what the concept that they brought in from this. Total productive maintenance means if the available time of the this machine is more, then production also can be more. If any availability time is reduced, to that extent we are losing. So if you maintain the machine properly, so that breakdown time can be minimized or it is eliminated, then that much of the to that corresponding production can be improved, right? So productivity levels can be improved, right? Then employee involvement, because always they believe on the 2 aspects. One is the process, the other is means people. These 2 always they take. When they talks about quality, in the quality they talks about 2 problems. One is the defects and it is delays. And for the defects and delays, there is 2 solutions also they found. That 2 solutions are, one is right setting. Right setting means it is a process oriented. If the right process is there, if process is capable of delivering it, then output will be ensured good quality, right? And another one is setting behavior. This is people orientation, because any organization, people are doing, they are performing, the people's performance comes as an output. And if people are doing better, that mindset is that behavioral setup is good, so that always they think about improvements, how not to make any mistakes, then definitely the quality will be there. So for the quality 2 problems are defects and delays, there are 2 solutions comes from the process and people. Right? And how the Toyota pull improvements, always they think of the just in time concept is come from the Toyota, and the pull concept, this is one of the lean principle. Pull is one of the lean principle, and the lean there are 5 principles are there. One is the defining the value, then mapping the value streams so that we can identify what are the areas of waste in the process. So the other one is a flow. Always they think that how to smoothen the flow. There should not be extra movements, there should not be obstacles or here and there movements or transportation must not be there more. So the free flow and means easy, and obstruction, there should not be no obstruction in the flow. And also they feel that the fourth one about the pull, this is one of the lean principles. There are 5 principles. The fourth principle is about the pull. They not believe on the push, and they believe on the pull, so that as and when required the production is being produced and delivered to it. And the other one is about perfection. Perfection means it is continuously they believe that further perfection is possible. Every time they think of the continuous improvements, whatever they made improvement, they document it and they make this sustain, then further improvements they seek for, again the cycle continues. Right? So the Toyota, the technique is to remain competitive. What is the secret behind it? Why the Toyota uses the Kaizen? Because of that only they still in the first second ranks always. In the best of the the top 10 manufacturing excellent companies, they always standing the first and second. Because of that, because of this basic concept like lean concepts, one of them is the out of the lean, that Kaizen. Right? This is the why they wanted to continue to remain in the competitive and to improve the customer services and to make him happy. Always they focus on the customer. When you talk about the lean concept, the first principle talks about defining the value. Always they think that defining the value from the customer's perspective, not from the business only, but customer's perspective mostly they focus on. So therefore customer satisfaction is most important aspect they look into, and work smarter not harder. That is why basic that culture is developed. Small activities they do, smart and very smart small activities, but over a period of time you can see a larger improvement. To improve the productivity quality and to become world class, always they are the world class manufacturers. Whenever we talk about excellence in manufacturing, always we think about the Toyota. So that is how they maintaining still because of that, right? And of course there are 2 pillars to this here: continuous improvement and respect for the people is one of the principle of the Toyota. Right? So they respect because they believe on people are delivering the goods. So if people are happy, people are motivated, high morale, then definitely they can deliver output better. So that is the basic concept they believe on. And of course continuous improvement mindset, this in a culture we call it. As well, these are not like tools or nothing, but it is habitually imbibed in everybody's mind. So every time everybody thinks in the Toyota for the improvements. Then we differentiate innovation and Kaizen. Innovations generally they require larger investments and all of a sudden big improvements like, but Kaizen always thinks like smaller improvements, small steps, undramatic, and low cost and low investment. Similarly at the same time, because small changes you are adopting, so not much of the risk, and involving everybody is involved, and it is a short term means the projects also, Kaizen projects always taken very small, certain things maybe one day, 1 week or 1 month or 2 months, like maximum, like that. That is why short term projects are being taken for small improvements, and the team, they themselves can take the decision. It need not be involved with the top management. Soft floor, the team members, they themselves can take the decisions about the improvement and further improvements and documenting all those things, right? Whereas the innovation, of course, many times it requires a lot of investment and cost, and risk also involved, because a larger change you wanted, so lot of risk is involved. Specialized team, researchers are required, and the experts are required. But whereas in Kaizen, there is no experts required. They believe the worker himself is an expert in that same, in his own area of work. The worker is an expert, so that way they believe. Whereas in innovation, generally we qualify certain highly qualified persons. They are the specialists. They innovate, they make a research, then they will come out. But others may not be involved in the ground level, right? It is long term innovations, but these Kaizens are short term. Okay. Kaizen, some benefits we will discuss. What are the benefits of the Kaizen if you implement? One is definitely the increase in the productivity, improved quality, and better safety also at the lower cost, of course, improved customer satisfaction. Also, it will transform the culture of the organization. If you implement this Kaizen is not like one time experimentation, one time implementation. No, it is continuous. You have to adopt this concept continuously. You have to improve. So it is a cultural transformation in the organization actually, right? And mindset of the people. Right? Improved communications among the employees. Yes, because they form as a group, a small group at the worker level, so that among them there is a lot of communication happens, that harmony happens, the relationships also develops among the employees, and improved morale and high satisfaction of the employees, and increased sense of ownership also happens, because always they thinking about the improvement from the point of view of the customer, for example. So always there is a improvement that my mindset is there, that attachment with the work is involved, so that ownership happens. When they attached with the work and they are always thinking about the improvements, definitely that ownership develops. Ownership for that own work, what they are doing, and their contribution also, they can think over a period of time, yes, I am giving this much of contribution to the company, because over a period a larger improvements are happening. So that is why that attachment, that ownership happens. Kaizen benefits, of course, some of the other I will discuss. Like in a Kaizen, it reduces the waste, inventory. In the inventory also can reduce, or waiting times can be reduced, or transportation, or workers motion. All this, like we are talking about 7 ways. Originally it is 7 ways as per the Toyota, but later, of course, one more waste also added, that is non-utilization of the talent of the human beings. So I will discuss all the wastes also in subsequent slides, so we can understand. So waste reduction is one of the major achievement from the Kaizen, right? And Kaizen improvements also possible in the space utilization, product quality, use of capital or communication, production capacity, employee retention, like the many benefits you can get from the Kaizen. Okay. It is in fact online process of continuously making small improvements, and this is why we should implement the Kaizen. That is a basic question. Of course, some benefits I have shown to you, and Kaizen always thinks about out of box thinking. It's not like the same what we are doing for days together, or months together, or years together. Not, maybe that is best excellent process we are following, but always there is an opportunity for improvements. That opportunity, how can think, when you're thinking outside the box. Not that routinely what you are doing, that may be the best at the present, but still there is an opportunity that has to you think from the different angles. Right? Use the Kaizen to know how to create the success from the failure. That is what you are seen from the Japan after Second World War. Entirely it is collapsed. From the almost like zero, they have again grown up and become world one of the largest economy. Still, they are the third largest economy in the world after US and China. They are the world largest economy. Small country, smashed once upon a time after the World War. From that, they have grown up, now become such a largest economy because of their habits and their culture, their behaviors, their business approaches. The lean concepts are transformed their manufacturing concept, entire industry. Okay. So, to remain top at the trend, like Toyota, still they are in the top because of these concepts, and use Kaizen to create team unity among the employees, that group of the peoples. The relationships are better improving upon. They form as a group, and the group cohesiveness is very high when you adopt the Kaizen. You can adopt many other concepts like a lot of investment you are making, R&D maybe, and innovations you are coming up. Lot of innovation you are doing, patents in your name. But the unity among the people can't be fostered from these techniques, these achievements. But through Kaizen, very high cohesiveness among the people can be ensured. Very less investment, of course, high impact. That is one of the reasons we should go for the A. And continuous learning and continuous for success. Okay? That is the basic theme of the Kaizen. Then let us understand, because our topic is about the productivity. So what is the productivity? We'll understand what are the productive factors that can be improved upon, that we'll discuss. Kaizen again is a productivity concept because it eliminates the waste. When the waste is eliminated, the productivity will improve. That is the basic concept. Based on that, most of the Kaizens they attack on the waste. Those 7 waste and then 8 waste we are talking about, that I will discuss. But they basically attack on the waste, so that once the waste is reduced, the productivity will increase. Actual productivity, when you are talking about, there are 3 factors. One is the input, then process, output. Right? These are the 3 factors. The input may be your manpower or motivation, or the materials or energy, or machines, money or capital, methods and technology or management. Environmental related factors also will come in. That is what Mother Earth. Then measurements, market and competition also may impact your output. And there are certain regulatory aspects, mandatory regulatory aspects from the legal aspects, for example, government restrictions, for example, those also affects. And time also one of the major inputs. For example, in services, how you can deliver the service at a faster rate. The rate of means within how many minutes or how many hours you are deliver the service. For example, your insurance claim is there. For example, medical insurance claim. Always we talk how fast we are clearing that claim. So the time also become a factor for this productivity when you are talking about, right? So these are the 11 inputs what I conceive. So these inputs comes to the process. If the inputs are correct, the output also may correct when the process is capable. When the process is capable, the inputs determine the output, right? So if it is junk in, then junk out. Good inputs, then output also ensured good quality without defects or errors. Defects is one of the waste. Defect is one of the waste. because it involves lot of rework or modifications or use of the machines once again to use or re-inspection. Then ultimately it's not possible, then you have to scrap it or dispose it off. That is also involve the cost. So defects is also one of the major waste. So to stop that waste, we have to improve the productivity, right? How can we improve the productivity? By improving the inputs. Then the process is a system or conversion or transformation from the input to output is a process. Inputs are converted into output by using various tools and techniques. In the process, the inputs are converted into output. Okay, the output may be tangible or intangible, goods or service, and deliverables like internal or external or planning or results also is an output, right? A service result, for example, right? Then productivity, what we are talking about, it is a ratio output divided by input. So that is the basic simple concept. So how to improve productivity we will now discuss based on this simple concept, that output divided by input means there are three means basically these two factors are there. These two factors are affecting the output. So output is related to productivity. Then I will discuss what are the factors will improve the productivity. What are the factors? The input factors, for example, input factors, the 11 factors I shown to you in the previous slide. These, if any of these things are affected, this also affect your output, means your productivity will affected, right? Similarly, this process itself has certain capability. If the process is able to produce and inputs are correct, then your output is ensured defect free. That is what the basic concept in Six Sigma also. Variants we are talking about means no defects, that output we wanted. Then we have to ensure the correct input and right process. So if these two factors are ensured, the output is guaranteed, right? So some of the advantages of the improving the productivity: the least cost of the product or service. Competitive advantage also you can achieve because of the your I told you two facts. One is the defect and the delays in the quality. Because you are improving the productivity, the quality is improved, so that lesser of the defects, and delays also taken as a waste. The waiting time or delay is a waste. So that is also you are eliminating. Therefore, you will be more competitive, and increased sales volume as a result of your competitiveness, and increased earnings per earnings and profits because your sales volumes are increasing. These are like one after one, the spiral effect, like it will happen. If your output means productivity is high, your cost is less. Because of that, you will be competitive. Because of the competitiveness, your sales volumes may increase, and as a result, your earnings also may increase, your profits may increase, and reserve funds also may increase, and better resource utilization and improved safety and operations also through productivity can improve. Right? Customer satisfaction, ultimately we are making customer satisfaction, increased employee morale, and organizational expansion also can happen because of your profits and sales volumes are increasing. Your brand image is increased, so that you can improve that your expansion and other thing. Increase living standard of the economy as a whole, because you are contributing to the economy in means your country's economy. As a result of world economy also, you are one of the contributing factor, right? Then how to improve the now productivity? This is the crux of the problem now. So here we are coming with, there are 4 possibilities are possible for improving the productivity. Very simple, like I have taken the input, process, then output. These are the 3 factors taken. Based on that, I am now discussing how to improve the productivity. I told you either making the inputs or the improvement of the process. Either of these ways you can improve the productivity. So what are the 4 possible ways? Let us discuss. One is same input, for example, but increased output. Increased output means the numerator and denominator we are talking about. Numerator is output, denominator is input. Input is same, means denominator is same, but increase the output, then definitely your productivity will increase, right? Productivity will increase. This is one of the way, so that even though same inputs, but increased output by through process, if you are doing some improvements, so that output can increase. So as a result, the productivity can increase. Here we are talking about the process improvements. Okay, the process, for example, is a efficiency level of say 90%. If you improve the efficiency to say 95%, so definitely your productivity is increased to 95%, even further 99%. Why not 100% always? So that is how this improvement. So here we are talking about process improvement. Then decreased input but same output, then also we can means productivity can improve. Increase means better quality inputs, for example, better improved quality, for example, so that the cost of input is less, but you are giving the same output, then also your productivity will increase. Better selection of the inputs, here we are talking about the input quality, right? So another one is small increase in input, small improvement, some quality improvement, for example, small means alternative inputs, raw materials are taken, but larger improvement is providing in the output. Small improvement in means input, but large means increase in output, then productivity can increase, right? Similarly, the fourth option is small decrease larger decrease happen in input, but output is only small decrease happen. Larger decrease happen in the input, but small decrease happen in the output, then also we can improve. Factor come summarizing, how can we improve is we have to attack on two factors. One is the input, another is process. Input factors are shown to 11M. Any of the factors you are improving, either input materials or your energy consumptions or any of the other inputs I have shown to you, any of those things if you decrease, and the process improvement also you are ensuring, then definitely the productivity will increase. So out of this, any of the attempts you can do from the input side or the process improvements, right? And this entire process means these two only we are targeting now, input and process. Suppose reducing the waste, always lean is always looking for the reducing the waste, always the lean concept looks towards the waste reduction, right? And improving the process capability, the other way we can improve the productivity is reducing the variance. The process is capable of producing lesser defect or no defects, for example. So that is why Six Sigma always looks towards the variance. Variance means defect side, right? Defect side. So if the variance is less, means your process is capable, then definitely the output will be less variance, means less defects. So here for the improvement we are attacking it two improvement of the productivity. One is input side, we have to make the improvements by reducing the lean, means the waste and other thing. In the process waste also we have to reduce, or correct inputs we are entering into this process. And process capability also if you improve, then definitely output will improve, so that productivity will improve. So that is how this basic concept, always will look onto these things. Then through Kaizen, what is the Kaizen principle we will discuss first now. Then through Kaizen how we can improve the productivity, right? Kaizen, when you are talking about, is a umbrella concept. Actually it is not a one concept. Kaizen is actually continuous improvement, n number of tools you can use it. Many of the tools like these are the from the Toyota has come up. They always they look from the customer's point of view. The value what they defined is from the customer's perspective. Okay, And quality circle is of course emerged and it's well accepted in Toyota only. It is actually Deming's concept, quality circles, and this was well implemented in Toyota. Right? Suggestion system, Kaizen is basis is suggestion system, and 5S is again very simple concept. It can be adopted anywhere, even in our house also can adapt, in our office you can adapt, in your production lines you can adapt, anywhere you can adopt this 5S. Very simple concept. What are the 5S also we discuss subsequently. Then this Toyota production system or total productive maintenance, that is also one of the means Kaizen concept, means that is under this Kaizen concept, total productive maintenance. If you are maintaining the machine properly, so that breakdowns and other thing will be less or no breakdowns, unwanted breakdowns. Of course, planned breakdowns, planned shutdowns may be there, but breakdowns which are unwanted actually, those will be reduced. Automation, yes, automation, robotics, these are improves. Total quality concept also later it is as assumed, but these are all means total concept is about the many other concepts. It is like a concept, it is a philosophy actually, right? Adopting many other quality related concepts, and various other tools also there. Some of them we will discuss in subsequently. So these are like we call is umbrella concept in the Kaizen. Many other tools and techniques are we using, and productivity improvement also one of the aspect we have to consider when we are talking about the Kaizen. Kaizen basic key principles. One is the teamwork. That is very basic, fundamental is teamwork, because people are doing. It's not like somebody, some machines are doing, but people are doing. Fundamentally, that people's mindset, and that is what the basic is about the teamwork, right? And this is always the Kaizen principle is to encourage the collaborative working. So as a group we have to work, not as an individual. Individual you may have the ideas, you come out with Kaizen ideas, but when it is implemented, if you work as a group, because many others also have to support, so that can be implemented and it can be sustained over a period of time. It's not like one time implementation, but it has to be sustained over a period of time. So the teamwork is very essential. First, this element of the Kaizen. Then the personal discipline, of course it is always I told you this people oriented only. The Kaizen is mostly people oriented, people's mindset, and strong personal discipline also is one of the element of the Kaizen. Always we have to do as per the standards, then always we have to think about the improvements, and that improvements has to be implemented in certain fashion. That discipline must be there, then only it can be maintainable for over a period of time. It is not like one time you are done some excellent, but later you can drop. No, continuously you have to maintain. For that discipline, personal discipline is very essential. Then improved moral, means that improved satisfaction levels, and that environment also, the working culture is improved, then definitely the moral also will improve. Then quality circles is one of the basic elements of the Kaizen, because from the quality circle only the Kaizen concepts have emerged. So quality circle and suggestion for improvement, that is what the basic. Always you have to think about improvements, so you have come out with improvement ideas. So that is what the suggestion box is one of the major. So these are the key principles of the Kaizen, and for the Kaizen to be successful, the principles are: one is always believe that there is a room for improvement, means opportunity is there always. Even though you have done excellent job yesterday, highest performance you have done yesterday, but still in future there is opportunity there for improvements. So that mindset, that is the basic mindset. That is what the Kaizen is. Not like any other tools like we have to use, but it is a mindset. So always we believe that there is an opportunity for improvement, and employees are willing to participate. That is one basic concept is there is leadership aspect also we have to look into. Some of the leadership and top management, for example, what this worker will do, if you don't believe on the worker's capability, then the Kaizen will not work out. That is where the Western concept and Japanese concept is deviating. Western is mostly they invest on the large R&D, but Japanese, that culture is they don't invest much in the R&D, but always small improvement they encourage. They believe that every employee has capable of doing some improvements in his own area. In his own area, he is an expert, not somebody highly educated at the some chambers of the R&D, research and development. Otherwise, the small worker also can improve, some small improvements he can contribute for the organization. That is the basic. So employees are always willing to participate and are capable to generate the ideas, so that everybody is involved in this process, right? Then his mindset, as I told you, out of box thinking. Whenever you are always been encouraged to think for the betterment, then always you think how to improve out of box, not like yesterday what you did the same way do. No, something different want to do, something better for this, right? So that is the mindset, that out of box thinking. And big results comes from the many small changes, as we already told you. Small improvements over a period of time, it will bring a bigger change, right? And in Kaizen, one more thing we have to importantly understand, there should not be any criticism. Whenever a person is giving suggestions, others should not laugh at him, should not criticize, or bring pulling the legs to bring down and not to happen that suggestion. No, that is the basic difference. When we work in a group, encouragement in a group for everybody's ideas we have to encourage. Maybe it is a good or it may not be workable, but let us respect him. He has brought with idea. Let us experiment on the facts, let us experiment. If not possible, let us drop. But we should not criticize. And many organizations, what happen, once something goes wrong because of some improvements or some changes, we immediately pinpoint the blame. That person is done, that is why this has happened. So in Kaizen, the basic is you should not think about the criticism. Everybody is capable of giving some certain ideas. Let him give the idea. Let us test on the facts basis. So fact basis, not just like criticism, right? So everybody's idea is valued and considered for the cross-functional evolution, and data and fact based only we have to consider. Data and fact based only we consider, not biased or not blaming, right? And 3M, of course, we will consider later. I will come Muda, Mura, Muri. This is a 3M concept that is very basic for the lean concepts related to the waste we are talking about. So that is what always we think, how from this angle how to reduce the waste. Kaizen is always talking about waste from the point of view of the waste. So how to reduce the waste we consider. So the 3M point of angle we have to think which of them we can improve upon, right? Then collaborative approach, yes, these ideas whenever there, not singularly one person can implement many times. So collaboratively as a group, if you form and then implement, the success rate will be very high. And again, looking for always for improvement, that is a continuous cycle. So this is continuous cycle framework. It's not like one time you are implemented, then you are celebrating and closing. No, it's continuously you have to implement, improve upon. Means you have to take the new ideas are tested, then implemented, and then sustained. Then after again think of better improvements, right? Then some of the criteria for all the ideas may not be converted into Kaizen. That's the basic. Maybe you have n number of ideas as suggestions. All the suggestions may not work out. Then there is just screening you have to make. Then based on the screening, whether it is brings certain improvements or not, after that screening only we have to select the ideas. And only when the ideas are converted into implementable actions, then only it is called as a Kaizen. No, otherwise no. Ideas are remain ideas, it is no Kaizen. Ideas are when it is been implemented, then only it is Kaizen. So when Toyota is started like 99% implementation, they are making sure that idea can be put into use, implementable. So everybody is cooperating, everybody is involved, so that is been made. But in most of the organization, they start as a crazy, like all of a sudden they start, some management or some management consultant is told, they start this suggestions box. That suggestion box maybe 1 month, 2 months or 6 months it operates, then after nobody is to look into the suggestion box. That suggestion box will dump like papers comes, or otherwise also people are not interested to put in any suggestions. But when you ensure that suggestions, whatever maybe small suggestions, make it implementable, then more and more suggestions will come, that people will be motivated to come out with more suggestions, ideas. Right? There is ideas that screening, we have to see, look into that Mura, Muri, these are I told you. Based on that also you have to look into whether this idea, whether it is reducing the waste. Mura means pure waste. It is reducing any of the waste, or whether it is reducing unevenness of the process or the procedures, or anything it is overburden, it is minimizing the overburden or lessening the overburden. So whether it is improving the quality or increasing any safety aspects, or it is addressing the root cause, or it is can be standardized so that sustainable manner we can do in longer term. So these factors, some of them we have to look into, then we have to implement this Kaizen. Many of the organizations, when they make the Kaizen implementation, there is a certain format is there. In that format they have to describe the idea and that location, what is the output, that improvements, what is the results into. The results into, when we talk about, they talks about 3M. Any of these things they are improving or not. Cost may or may not be. Certain times cost factors are very difficult to ascertain. Suppose a worker, you ask how much you can save from this idea, he may not be able to do it. So don't restrict that means a rigid format like how much you are reducing the cost or saving the cost, like that. No. Let the idea comes out. Let him tell in a colloquial language or informal way how it can improve or reduce the waste or other aspects in his own area of work. So that is what the encouragement should not do. Then we should not restrict because of the rigid formatting. Many organizations that they make a major blunder. When they implement, they make the format very rigid format. Many factors they ask for, which the workers may not be able to give all the factors. Okay. Some basics of course required. Then the supervisors or the other managers can help them. If the worker is coming out with an idea, they can work out how to formulate, means some documentation, how to do, they can help them, so that comes. So idea, when it is implemented, then only it is a Kaizen, otherwise no, right? Then Kaizen, people focus, because Kaizen is always looks into the people's aspects. So one is every employee matters. That is what everyone employee is involved, and there are experts in their own field. That is the belief. They are the experts, because for example a carpenter is there. Carpenter is the expert in his own work. He can do. We can tell how to do and other thing, but we can't do. Most of the senior managements, they can give the instruction, they can give some guidelines and other thing, but they can't do. Practically they can't do. But the worker who can do himself, he is the expert in his own area, right? He can bring up the ideas. That is what the first belief we have to have, that everyone has the capability to deliver, means do something better in his own area of work. Every employee can contribute, yes, ideas. Then no idea is discarded without evaluating on the merits. We should not take that a small worker is giving the idea, leave it. No, give respect to him. His own area, he has brought on certain improvement idea. Let us evaluate on the merits. Let us talk on the facts, not on the just on the biased phase. We can't discard. Then no criticism. That is very important in the Kaizen. Kaizen, there should not be any any criticism. encouraged to bring as many ideas as possible. In some of the production units, for example, packing, for example, in the packing unit, one of the unit they brought out with idea. Earlier they are using the 5-ply packing for the carton boxes. They are using 5-ply. Then one person is given idea of why we use 5-ply when the carrying the goods are lesser weight. For example, bottles. For example, these plastic bottles or is the glass bottles, for example. So if it not required, why we are using the 5-ply? That is one small idea has come. Then they tested with 3-ply. It's worked well. The drop test and various other tests they made, the load test, drop test and all things. Then it's worked. Then it's implemented. Lot of cost savings happened. In one of the sugar factory, in the sugar factory they have the concept of using the jute bags, because that is mandatory requirement. Certain percentage of the production they have to bag in jute bags only. So jute bags inside generally, to avoid the fiber of the jute fibers can't be put into the food that sugar. So there is a liners they use it. Earlier they are using the 75 mm liners. 75 mm liner they are using inside the bag, the jute bag, so that the fiber can't be in contact with the sugar, right? So one idea is come up by a worker who is handling that means in the packing division. He is told, can we reduce this to say 45? Then they tried it. 45 is worked out. They made a drop test and many other tests they made. Then it works very well. They started this one. So the worker who is handling at he is a small worker. He is only in the packing division. He is loading, unloading he is doing. But he has come out with idea that is worked very well, and crores of rupees has been saved. So that is what we should not criticize anybody. Let the ideas come up. Actually, they are the workers, or they are the people who are the expert in that same, in their own area. Right? So one book is there, The Idea Driven Organization, written by Dr. Alan Robinson and Dr. The Dean M. Scrobber, Schroeder. These two are written a book, and they talks about 80% of the ideas coming from the front end people only. On that only they talks about the entire that book, and there are they given certain examples also. One of the good example they are given from the Coca-Cola, right? The Coca-Cola story I will listen. In 2006, the case study they are given in the book. In the 2006, Coca-Cola mandated Six Sigma implementation. Six Sigma is, very rigid, formatted and statistical use also there, and there are certain qualified people, they do this Six Sigma. They are like a black belt, they implement, and above him there is a master black belt, then champions, like that qualified people are there, they only start this Six Sigma. So they have trained the people and all things for this year. Lot of problem solving methodologies are there, hypotheses are there, statistics are there. They use this DMAX generally in the running process, means existing process. They use a concept that a method called as a DMAC, means define, measure, analyze, improve and control. There is systematic method is there, and everywhere they talks about a fact based, data based. Therefore the data collection, data analysis, then data testing, hypothesis, then implementation, like that rigid means method is there. Well qualified persons only will be involved, right? They implemented this one, okay, for improvement of the process. And there one of these one of the manager, newly she has come to this Coca-Cola. She has thought, okay, let us continue with the Six Sigma, but in addition, can we do some small things like encouraging the suggestions from the employees? So that is worked well. They started, implemented this small problems and suggestion box, and surprisingly, over a period means after 2 years, means from the 2008 to 2010, they made a measurement what are the benefits of the Six Sigma. Then versus the other suggestion box where they implemented the Kaizen like concepts, right? And the 2 year surprise, you can see from the 2008 to 2010, Coca-Cola saved this many dollars from the Six Sigma black belt projects. These are black belt projects, because in Six Sigma when they implement, he must be qualified black belt minimum. Green belt can support, but black belt can implement, and above him there is master black belt, then champions at the top of the organization. Like that, the hierarchy is there, and with a lot of larger highly educated and people involved, they brought this much is saving. But 7 green belt projects, small projects they brought in, they saved this much, you see. And here at the same time, thousands and thousands of ideas came up. The saving is this much total. This is small green projects, means green belt projects and black belt projects. Total they saved this much through Six Sigma concept. But through this small idea suggestion box approach, they brought thousands of ideas, small from the frontline employees, and they were individually smaller, but collectively they saved during this period 2008 to 2010. During this period they saved this much, you see. Then what is the 83% saving came from the frontline ideas, whereas only 17% from the management, means the top manager. This Six Sigma, all the projects, larger projects they started with very structured one, with highly qualified, they saved only this much, only 17%, whereas maximum ideas has come, the savings happened from the frontline, the workers. So that is why at the ground level, the people's contribution, you see how much they contributed. That is why this is very important. So ensure that small ideas, let it drive. That is the mindset. It is a mindset only. Everybody can contribute. Small ideas, let it come from the frontline small worker. So over a period, it will be contributing a large. Means the small ideas immediately will not contribute a larger impact, but small negligible impact like maybe, but over a period this will generate a larger impact on the productivity or the output. Right? Kaizen tools, some of the tools we will discuss. These are some of the Kaizen tools you can implement. Some others also you can talk, because Kaizen is an umbrella concept. So these are some of the tools. Others, as per your requirement, as per your organization's needs, you can implement Kaizen, some of them. Voice of customer is one, because we are taking from the voice of the customer, we are understanding what the customer wanted, what is the gap. We may be delivering something, but exactly what the customer wanted, so that we can improve upon. So we have to take from the voice of customer. And SIPOC is this is a broad visual representation of the process. Process means this is the supplier, input, the process, output, and customer. So this is a process representation, like you can get a high level representation, visual representation, to understand broadly what is the process output, and who are the customers. On the back end, what is the input, and who are the suppliers of those inputs. So to understand broadly, so that this has been done. Then Gemba work is one of the very transforming concept in Kaizen. Gemba means real place. Means you should not sit in the, means suppose most of the managers and the top managements, they always confined to their chambers. The meetings they conduct also again in the chambers with a certain level of management cadres, but they are not going to the shop floor. Whereas in Japanese, that culture is, even that the topmost MD, chairman, or largest means CEO or CFO, like that, they used to go to the shop floor. they spend more time in the shop floor so that they can understand what is happening. They really can see, then they can take the decisions. Right? So Gemba work is real place, that is the work. Then catchball is one of the concept. As catchball is, for example, you have an idea. Means the Kaizen idea generally through catchball only it is generating. Then a group is involved. Then they're coming up with implementation. Catchball, what happened? It is like you are throwing an idea on one person, means the group. The other person will catch up that idea, and he will add something. He will add something to the idea. How to implement or how to improve that idea, like that he can add something. Then he will throw again that ball to the somebody else. That idea he can throw to somebody else with some value addition. So like that it is goes from one to other. Each time some improvements are being made. So that ultimately it can be implementable. So the Kaizen mostly they use the catchball concept. So involve the group members. The idea is maybe generated by one person, but others are contributing some value addition they are creating, so that it's been moved from one place to other, like one person to other. Like ultimately every person that group is involved with value addition. So ultimately they ensure how to implement. So that is a good tool used in the Kaizen. Then 5S is one of the most important Kaizen means. Generally when you are implementing the Kaizen, the first step like that you can take from the 5S. First step is 5S, because very simple concept, you can implement anywhere, but larger impact will come, larger transformations has to come. Small things, but many things advantage is there, that will go and discuss. Then 3M, as I told you, Mura, Muri, and there we discuss about the 8 ways that I will show you subsequently. Then root cause analysis also, the 5Y is extensively used in the Kaizen too. In the Kaizen implementation, extensively they use the 5Y. Means always they look into if any problem is there. For example, the delay to the customer, that item is delayed. Then they will investigate why it is delayed, what are the causes. Then 5 times they ask why. Means it's not like simple asking five times why. Each time you get the answer. For that answer again you have to question. For example, a simple example I take. Suppose your tea is cold. Then you will ask why that tea is cold. The kettle is not heated, maybe the reason. Then for that, why that kettle is not heated? Then you will come out with that power is not there, the fuse is blown. Why that fuse is blown? Then you come out with, because that rating is means low rating or something, fuse was not properly rated, therefore it is blown. Why that rating is not made in the fuse? In the inventory there is no categorization of the fuse ratings, so that may be happened. So why it is not made in the inventory, that classification or the fuse ratings? Then specification has to be made for the fuses, proper specifications for classifying different ratings. So that is the root cause. If it is not there, this has happened. So like that you can reach to the root cause through this 5 times asking why. While using the 5 why, it need not be only just 5 times you have to ask no. It can be 3 times also. Once you reach the root cause, you can stop. You should not ask drag to 5 times as a rule, like no. If you got in 3 whys, you got the answer, stop it. If you not got even after 5 whys, then you extend even up to 7 whys, for example. Right? So you can extend like the thumb rule, like we are talking, generally 5 whys you get the root cause of that. Yeah. Then value stream mapping, very important lean concept. This is one of the principle of the, of course, lean. That lean has a 5 principle. The second principle is about, first principle of define value. The second principle is value stream mapping. Value stream mapping means all the steps you are mapping visually. It is a visual diagram, a visual depiction, and visually you are showing all the steps involved in the process. All the steps when you are depicted, then you have to identify which are the processes are adding the value, which are the process not adding the any value. Their value means we are take from the one value is from the customer's point of view, the other you can may even take from the business point of view. For example, in a production unit, there is a security is there at the entry gate. Security persons are not contributing or adding any value to the production. So from the production point of view, they are non-value added. But from the business point of view, they are value added, because security is there, then there is authentic entry and the exit they can control. So that from the business point of view, they are necessary. From the process production point of view, of course, they are not adding any value, they are waste. So when you are identifying those type of waste, you have to see from the business means process orientation, then also from the business side also you have to look into, right? So these securities are required now, necessity. And some activities, for example, there is no value addition, not required at all, those are completely waste. One example I will give you to identifying the what is the waste like. Suppose you are reaching a hospital. When you go, then the reception maybe some entries and all thing, registration and all thing you have to do, giving certain basic data or information. Then suppose the registration is over, then a nurse may come, that she takes the basic your health conditions like your temperature, blood pressure testing, or height and weight, and like that takes. Then you have to wait for a doctor, for example. So these process steps you are writing down in a value stream mapping. First is registration, then basic health conditions are checked by the nurse. Then next step is you have to go to the doctor. Doctor will diagnose. In this process, for example, you are waiting for the doctor, or the waiting for the example at the registration itself, you are waiting for 5 minutes, but registration takes only 2 minutes. Then you have to wait for the nurse at 10 minutes, but nurse takes only less than 5 minutes, that basic health conditions. Then you have to wait for half an hour for a doctor, but doctor diagnoses only 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes are valuable. Other things is not valued from your point of view. Of course, the registration, the nurse taking the basic, maybe certain business related value addition, but ultimately you are waiting for some time. For example, in the registration you are waiting for 5 minutes, for the nurse you are waiting for 10 minutes, for the doctor you are waiting for 30 minutes. In this process you are wasting some time, that is not adding any value to you. Okay. So you have to find out through value stream mapping what are the value added, what is the non-value added. So that is why this is very useful tool. So now once you identify non-value added activities, then you have to minimize those non-value added activities, right? Or if it's possible, you can eliminate completely or reduce. If not possible to eliminate, you have to reduce. Then comes to the PDCA. PDCA is Deming cycle, we also call. This is a cycle, means this is a continuous improvement model, and Kaizen extensively use this model. This is a continuous improvement model developed by the Deming. So it is also called as a Deming cycle, so extensively used. And 7QC basic tools, of course these are also some measurement point of view, is a very important. Some of them I will show you in the subsequently. Kanban, of course Kanban is a visual presentation to show what is the pending, what is in progress, and what is done, completed. So this is one of the lean concept, showing you visually what is the pending, what is the obstacles, and all thing also you can understand why it is pending. Therefore you can investigate, then find out why it is pending, that works and all thing like that you can find out. So this is one of the visual diagram, right? Just in time, of course, most of the automobile industry is extensively using this concept. This is one of the pull concept. Pull is one of the lean concept. The fourth principle of the lean is pull. So just in time means only when the customer wanted you have to deliver, so that there should not be any pile up inventories, should not be there. There should not be extra production. So there should not be any inventory. So that is the concept. Just when it is required, it has to reach to the customer just in time. But just in time, of course, some industries it is working very well, but in some industries it is not workable. It is not like universally everywhere it can apply it. No. And for example, in automobile industries, extensively this has been used, because the suppliers are the ancillaries. The ancillaries are nearby the principal unit, so that immediately they can supply. The ancillary also closely associated with the principal. They have maybe long term agreements, and they share the lot of technical and other detailing also. So the quality improvements and other things also implemented at the suppliers end, the ancillary units end. They implementing lot of quality related concepts, so that there is strong bonding between the principal and the ancillary units. In such case, of course, JIT means just in time will work excellently. But in other cases, for example, the steel industry, cement industry, like mass production manufacturing industries, it may not work out. So at times we can't say that only just in time. For example, in steel industry, lime is the calcined lime is one of the input, for example, and you can't say that it's just in time. In rainy season, it may not be available. It has to be brought from the longer distances. Mostly calcined lime that suppliers are there in Rajasthan. From there, it has to brought to other areas. For example, I was working in Jindal Steel and Power in Chhattisgarh. So from Rajasthan to Chhattisgarh, longer travel is there. So in rainy season, it's the biggest headache to maintain the logistics. So we can't think that just in time there. We have to pile up certain stocks, otherwise our production will stop. Similarly, the iron ore, for example, in the rainy season, most of the iron ore that mining that work will stop. We can't go with just in time, because we had to pile up certain stocks. Okay, and just in time in corona period, of course, lot of even this mobile industry is also suffering, because that semiconductors chips, for example, those are not available. So that recent issue is all the worldwide, all the automobile industries are suffering. They adopted the just in time, but now because of the non availability of that semiconductor chips, the production is stopped or the deliveries are stopped. Okay. So we have to think where it is applicable, but this is a good concept, very nice concept. But accordingly, we have to develop that input, that all this means all the suppliers and the principal, all this collaboration must be there. Then only it will works out. Okay. Then Jisuken, this is an autonomous study group. This autonomous study group, empowered group. In the Kaizen, it is always thinks of empowerment. Empowerment, the workers, they themselves take the decisions, they themselves take the initiations. So for that empowerment is there. That is the concept.
Sorry, sir. So I think this is your last slide now.
Yeah, I will do my complete. No,
because sir, because we are running out of time now.
Okay. I will close this one. Okay, many things are there. Just I described what are the different tools. I am not going further all the tools. I just explained from that all those things. Then this also I explained to you. Okay, I will shift 5S. Of course, there is some link also. I will share, of course, to the madam all the complete presentation. You can go through it. You can go through this 5S. This is concept. Then sorting, set in order, sign, standardize, then sustain. These are the 5S. Very useful models. Then value addition, non-value addition, I already discussed to you. What is non-value added is a waste. Non-value added and not necessary is a waste. Okay, this is a waste. Then there is a I have one presentation in slide share that 8 ways. So I will link that link also. I will share to you. You can go through this 8 ways. 8 ways generally we take a downtime, means defects, overproduction, waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, motion, extra processing. These are the downtime. These are the 8 types of waste. Then of course PDCA cycle is, as I told you, it is a basic concept of the continuous improvement extensively used in the Kaizen, right? And 7 quality tools. Of course I have a this presentation. You can go through this link. In this link, complete my presentation is there on the 7 basic tools. You can go. Cost of quality also I have presentation, and these are the cost of quality, so that you can find which is costing. So these are the areas you have to improve upon, right? Then what is the cost consequences? You can understand from my slide share. This is the slide share. The link I'll share. You can go through it. Then hidden cost, of course you have to identify. That is an eye opener, because that is where Kaizen eye we call it. Kaizen eye means always you look for the what are the opportunities for improvement. How you can improve? Suppose certain hidden costs are there, we are not knowing. Identify those hidden costs. So those hidden costs, how to minimize? These are like waste. So identify those waste, then come out with suggestions or improvements. So this is from the Kaizen angle you can do this. Yeah. And of course if you make some prevention, cost is improved, then other costs will drastically come down. So this is also idea. Have an idea how to prevent some non-performance input side, how to improve that inputs, how to improve the process, so that prevention cost, though it is increased, but other costs will drastically fall down. As a result, net benefit you have. There is 1-10 100 rule, generally call it. If you invest 1 on prevention, the 10 is about this correction, and 100 is failure. You can, one investment if you make means $1, you can reduce 10 means dollars of this correction related cost, and $100 related to failure costs. Then just in time, already I discussed. Kaizen newspaper generally they publishes, so that you can know the updates about the Kaizen, what is happening, who is doing, what is the progress, all those things are being given. So that is also motivate the employees across the organization, so that everybody knows about what is happening in others, so that internally a healthy competition also been developed through this Kaizen newspapers. Kaizen mindset, of course these are the some mindsets I told you. I will send to you, go through it, some mindset related. And then basically the Kaizen take the leverage of the 5S, then waste, then standardization, of course, right? Every time you have to standardize, then make the improvement. Kaizen event is one of the factor we take it. It's not like Kaizen, everyday Kaizen, everybody Kaizen is one. Anybody can give some small improvement. But the Kaizen event is a group event. Is a group is involved with a specific problem, and rapid solution they come out within few days or few weeks. So that is what Kaizen event. And Kaizen implementation, some steps I have mentioned here, and this is also about the Kaizen event. And then Kaizen project, if you take any of the Kaizen event projects, some of the best practices I have mentioned here, success factors. So go through it. With this, of course, I want to close this one. If you like my you can give them. I am sharing this link on various my presentations in this slide share. I have made more than 120 slide shares. You can go through whatever you are required. Then you can, if you like, please click it, like. And my YouTube presentations also there. This is the link on various topics. You can find the YouTube link, and this is my contact details. With this, I am closing. Of course, sorry, I have taken a little bit more time. A 16 minutes time is taken. Sorry extremely, but otherwise,
It's okay, sir.
yeah. Yes, now I am
Yeah,
open for
participants.
any question answers. If you have, I am open for it.
Yeah, participant, if you have any query, you can ask.
Yes, any question answers? This is open for.
I think that there are many questions in the Q&A part. You can see, sir.
Where it is? in chat box?
No, sir. In the panel option, there is an option called Q&A.
Where it is, madam? How to go about?
एक minute,
Otherwise,
sir.
you can open and you can read it so that I answer.
Yeah, I
No?
can.
I will stop this my presentation. Then you can open your presentation. Then solve these things so that we can discuss and go.
Sir, there is तो शेयर द लिंक के लिए सर लोग लिंक के लिए बोल रहे हैं सर वो इस पीपीटी और शेयर के लिए ही बोला है लोगों ने सर दे आर आस्किंग फॉर द शेयरिंग द लिंक
Okay, I will share that one.
yeah
But as I already promised, I will share
PPT
to you
also.
so that we can circulate to others.
Yeah, anyone please share the question if you have or you can ask directly to the sir. Anyone? No one? I think they are not.